time now for our special series, Fit Myths, where we debunk some popular bits of fitness fiction. This morning, we're going to tackle a challenge that a lot of people face. Are you really working out as hard as you think you are? ABC's Mara Schiavocampo is here with that. Hey there, Mara.
Hey, Robin. Good morning. You know, the answer to that question is actually really important because if you think you're burning more calories than you are, you could be unintentionally overeating, completely derailing your weight loss goals, even when you think you're doing everything right. Drenched in sweat, feeling the burn, your workouts may make you feel like Rocky. But experts say what seems like heavyweight training may actually be a lightweight workout, burning far fewer calories than you think. Studies showing men and women tend to overestimate the number of calories they burn when exercising. One study finding by up to 4 times. So why are people overestimating how much they're burning?
Well, it's hard to tell, and I think if you go out and run or take a spin class or something and you're tired and you're sweating, you really have no context to know exactly how many calories that was, and so you just think, well, I must have burned a lot, right?
To find out just how hard it is to accurately gauge your burn, we went to New York's hospital for special surgery.
This is a metabolic cart, and what this does is it's going to measure how much oxygen and carbon dioxide is in your exhaled air. That's going to tell us how many calories you're burning.
I ran at a comfortable pace for 10 minutes.
So how many calories would you say that was?
I would guess about 200.
But after crunching some numbers,
90 calories.
Stop it.
Next up, Brianna bikes for 10 minutes. She thought she would burn 110 calories, but only burned 97, off by 13%. Gibson does a series of high-intensity intervals for 7 minutes.
How many calories do you think you burned?
I would go with 100.
The actual number of calories burned, 72. Experts say this overestimating can potentially lead to overeating, revealing a hidden reason weight loss can be so tough.
It takes a long time to burn a lot of calories and a very short time to eat those same amount of calories. You may go for a run, you burn 500 calories, you could really eat that in probably 30 seconds.
500 calories in 30 seconds. Now, experts say one sign you actually do need to dial it back a notch is when your form starts to suffer, because that actually could lead to injury. So you need to pay attention when that happens.
That's true. So how can the average person figure out if they're reaching their full potential to work out?
It's a very scientific measure called the talk test, right?
Okay.
So when you're working out at a moderate intensity, you should be able to carry on a conversation. At a higher intensity, it's going to be much harder. So we have Andia here. She's at the Mile High Run Club. Andia's running at a moderate intensity. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I could tell you all about my breakfast.
There you go. So clearly she's not struggling. So we're going to pump it up a little bit. So let's get this going. Let's pump her speed up, and then we'll check in with her a little bit later, see how she's doing.
Why is it sometimes, Mara, we feel like we can't go any more, but we do have something left in reserve?
You know, I mean, Robbie, you're a former athlete. You know, it's all about the mental game, right? It's a lot of it is pushing through discomfort because we don't like being uncomfortable, so we scale it back. There are a few ways that you can combat this. One is to challenge yourself. If you remind yourself that the hard is where the growth is, that's motivation to keep pushing through it. Another one, switch up your workouts. If you're bored, you're not really going to push yourself. And you might want to consider like some kind of heart rate monitor or Fitbit so you know exactly whether or not you're hitting those target numbers.
And all those are good suggestions, but especially divvying it up, because I usually ride the bike, and I just started getting back on the treadmill, and it's just because your body becomes accustomed to what you do, so you need to switch it up a little bit, kind of trick it a little bit.
When you do it for short periods of time, if you do intervals, you can push really hard for short periods of time, helps you get into better shape. Speaking of intervals, Andia's been sprinting for probably about 45 seconds. How are you feeling now?
A little bit tougher to talk.
You can't tell us about breakfast now, can you?
So what do you have for breakfast, huh?
Oh, I'm going to have an enchilada.
This is unfair because she's clearly a pro at this. Means she can work harder, right?
Right. But and how accurate are, because when they have the calorie counts and that, how accurate is that?
This is kind of a broad measure, so it's not for every person. So for example, yesterday when we were measuring precisely, the machines were telling us something different.
That's
you
true.
Can't really go by the machines.
Okay, and anytime you want to start a workout regime, check with your physician first.
Absolutely.
Check with your physician first.
How you doing, Andia? There you go. High intensity.
We broke her.